everyone, in the last month or so I have gotten an explosion of questions from people asking me if waist cinchers are a good start or a good stepping stone to wearing corsets. And initially I was a little bit confused about this question because a waist cincher in my lexicon is really just a different type of corset. What I'm wearing right now is my Sparkle Wren cincher. I consider it a cincher particularly because I have a long torso, it does not cover the way that a full underbust corset would. It is still a genuine corset with steel bones, with couture lining. However, it is not coming right up to my bust line. I still have about an inch, maybe an inch and a half up between the top of the corset and the bottom of my bust. And it also cuts up above the iliac crest. By contrast, a full underbust might come right up to my underbust area. It might be a little bit higher, kind of like my Pullman corset. And a full underbust, it might have a short hip like this, but it might be mid-hip and it might be long line. It might come down over the hips a little bit more. So when I am talking to people about waist cinchers and I'm recommending waist cinchers to people, either they are a long-waisted person who's looking for a smaller corset, a shorter corset, to give them a little bit more mobility when they're going about their day, or for a person with a shorter torso, longer legs, shorter torso, or if they're short of stature, a cincher like this would fit them like a full underbust corset. Now I got to talking with some of these viewers and I asked them for clarification because some of them said that they heard somewhere or read somewhere that you're not supposed to wear waist cinchers. I don't know where they got that information from, but I found out that they were actually referring to one of these. Now I do not consider this a real corset by any stretch of the imagination, but within a certain market, this is also called waist cinchers. If you search waist cinchers on eBay, you'll get something like this. It's also called a Brazilian cincher or a faja, but it does not have couture. It has latex panels, and it does bring you in maybe an inch or two, but it's more like Spanx shapewear with the added feature that it has a rubber layer, so it does not allow your skin to breathe, and this causes your body to sweat, so you have less water retention on your skin. But it will never function the same way as a real corset will. This does have steel bones in it. I checked with my magnet, it does have a pull, but many waist cinchers, they actually have plastic bones which can warm up with your body heat. They can twist, they can poke into you, they can permanently kink into your side, especially if you bend over. It's really uncomfortable. I would not recommend starting any sort of waist training with this. I don't think this will do anything for you, truthfully. And several years ago I bought this to review it because a few people had asked about this sort of thing, but truthfully I couldn't wear it enough to make a proper review on it because the latex ended up irritating my skin and giving me a rash. So really be careful about that sort of thing. In my opinion, I consider a real corset to be much more comfortable than one of these, and if you are wanting to start with a genuine corset that gives you a little bit more mobility, allows you to breathe a little bit easier, and it's easier to hide underneath clothing, then I would recommend going with a cincher style corset, the shorter corsets. There are many people who sell short corsets, also called cinchers, within the corsetry community. It includes Sparkle Wren, like you can see here. Madame Cher, I had reviewed her mesh ribbon cincher 2 weeks ago. There is also Timeless Trends. They have the short corsets now, which you can also consider cinchers. What Katie did has their baby corset, which I definitely consider a cincher because it's only about 6 or 7 inches on the side. And also Orchard Corset, their CS411 can fit like a full underbust for shorter people, but for people like myself, it fits more like a cincher. So really, don't confuse this style cincher with corset cinchers. They are two completely different things. Even though they have the same name, it is very misleading. Okay, so those who insist on my giving a review of this sort of Brazilian waist cincher or latex waist cincher, I'm gonna have to do this super quick because I'm already starting to itch here. This brings me in maybe an inch and a half. But you can see that it causes a little kink there. There are a total of 4 bones in this corset. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's none on the side seams, which is why it's wrinkling and kinking in there. It does give you a little bit of mobility, but at the same time, you can see some of these wrinkles underneath your clothing if you're wearing something lightweight. So it's actually, I would consider this no more inconspicuous than a smooth corset would, but that has internal boning channels basically. You can see that it does that with all these hooks and eyes here. It does not have a bone on either side of the hooks and eyes. So it can hold this type of tension because the reduction is not too high, and also the panels are stretchy. However, if you had this type of hook and eye on a genuine corset, it would just rip out. I would definitely not recommend putting these hook and eye tapes into a genuine corset that has couture and a lot more steel boning that actually laces up in the back there. I find this very hot and sweaty. I do not consider myself a sweater. You know, not the shirt, but it takes a lot for me to actually produce a lot of sweat, even when I'm working out or if I'm in hot weather. But I am most definitely sweating in this, and it is not the most comfortable thing in the world. Also, I'm wearing this directly next to my skin. I don't have a liner underneath. This is the way that they recommend that you wear it so that you get the maximum effect of these latex panels, I suppose, but I do not find this comfortable. These cinchers, maybe you can wear it to bed if you feel claustrophobic in a corset but you still want to have a little bit of reduction, or you could wear it while working out because you should not work out in a genuine corset. But wearing this sort of thing day in and day out, it is by no means as effective as a real corset will be. Also, these cinchers run in the range of $40 to $60, some of them up to $70. And that is almost as much as an off-the-rack corset. So if you are new at this and you just want to see what waist training is like, you don't want to invest a whole lot of money, then don't get one of these. Just save your money and get a genuine corset, just a cheaper off-the-rack corset that probably won't cost that much more than this thing. And you will get the real experience. I mean, that corset, depending on the quality and the brand, it might fall apart after 2 months, but 2 months might be all you need to really decide whether you want to invest in corsetry or not. And many people size down after a couple of months anyways, so you might need a smaller corset by then, who knows. That's another thing. This will not last forever either. Latex does stretch out, it can dry rot, so don't expect this to last you for the rest of your life either. So I hope this clarified the sort of exercise, stretchy latex style waist cinchers versus actual genuine corset waist cinchers. And if you have any further questions, if you're still confused, leave a comment down below. Let me know. I'll try to answer you as best as I can. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.